to another episode of Creative Writing Advice with me, JJ Barnes. If you don't know me, I'm the author of How to Write Your Story, which is out now. You can get it as a paperback or download it for just 99p as an ebook. All the links are below. I take you from the beginning of your story all the way through to the end. I'm trying to, both with my book and my blog and over here on YouTube, inspire and encourage and give you the confidence to get your story out into the world. So here on YouTube today, I am going to be talking about how to write conflicting motivations. Now, conflicting motivations are a really interesting device in your story because your characters need to be motivated. And I say this all the time. Your protagonist and your antagonist both need to be motivated to accomplish their story goal. If they are motivated all the way through your story, the story will be driving forward, the plot will be active, the conflict will be active all the time, your story will be interesting, there'll be something happening. At no point will people just be sitting around doing nothing because you've kept your characters motivated. Now, the interesting thing is you can conflict their motivations, so give them multiple things that they want that are in conflict with one another. So the conflict is what they want that they haven't got. So your protagonist wants something and your antagonist is the one stopping them getting it. That's the story. That's the challenges, the obstacles, the entertainment of your story, watching your protagonist fighting to accomplish their story goal and get what they want, whatever it is. But that conflict is external. So that is them fighting against people trying to stop them. Internal conflict, so conflicting motivations, is when they want two things, equal amounts, and they can't have both. Now, this is a really interesting, and it makes your story really dynamic and challenging because you want for your protagonist, right? You want them to get what they want. The point of your audience sticking with it is because they're like, I want that character to get what they want. I want to see it happen. But if they want two things and they can't have both and they're kind of battling themselves all the time, that is then really interesting because what are they supposed to do? For instance, in Aladdin has conflicting motivations. He wants to have a real relationship with Jasmine. He wants to tell her the truth. He wants to be honest with her. He wants to be in love with her and have a real proper relationship. But he also wants to stay a prince and let her believe he's a prince. And he can't have both. He cannot both be honest with Jasmine and keep up the pretense he's a prince. Also, he wants to set the genie free. But he has conflicting motivations because he also wants to use his wishes. So you see these internal struggles playing out. You can see that he's battling with the desire to be truthful with Jasmine. He's battling over whether he should free the genie or use the wish for himself. And these are playing all the way through. Like, it's constantly on his mind. The genie reminds him of his promise to free him. That's on his mind. And his love for Jasmine is causing this internal battle with him. Do I tell her the truth and risk everything, but have honesty and a real relationship? Or do I keep up that I'm a prince, I'm allowed to marry her, and I get everything I want, but it's a lie? And that drives him throughout. So as the audience, you are riding with that character and watching that internal battle. He also has the external conflict of Jafar also wanting to marry Jasmine, wanting to stop him being a prince. It's all going on. Lots of external conflict is being piled on him, but the internal conflict is raging. And it gets really interesting because then you get to see him make that choice. What matters to him more? And this is how you can use it in your story beautifully. What matters more? Because when you really dig down to the truth of somebody, you can really find something out about them and what matters more between conflicting motivations. If you have somebody who both wants to go to a party and stay at home with their poorly parent, you can find out a lot about that person and what the truth of them is by what choice they make. They can't do both, they want to do both. What matters more, socializing or family loyalty? And that will tell you a lot about who that character is. And in Aladdin, it does tell you a lot about who that character is, because both of those conflicting motivations come to a head. He has told Jasmine the truth, but he still wants to be a prince, but he still wants to free the genie. So that tells you that the purity of Aladdin's heart is real. He chooses honesty and he chooses loyalty in freeing the genie. And of course, in the story, he is rewarded for it because the Sultan changes the rules, and you know this story, he gets to marry Jasmine anyway. But in that moment, Aladdin has the opportunity to get everything he's ever wanted, but at a cost. And he's not willing to sacrifice the person he loves in the genie, not Jasmine. He loves the genie. He has built up a relationship, like a friendship relationship, trust and honesty and loyalty with this character. And that is ultimately what he values more. Now, an antagonist character or a villainous character, a bad guy character, whatever you want to call it, you can do the opposite. So you can have them making choices and you can see two things that matter to them. One is a good choice and one is a bad choice. Now, a protagonist character might really, really, really want the bad choice, but ultimately, like Aladdin, picks the good one, because when it comes down to it, what matters more? In that internal conflict for Aladdin, what matters more is truth and loyalty. If it was Jafar's choice, if Jafar was the one who had that opportunity, you 100% know he would have sacrificed the genie, lied and become a prince, and married Jasmine under pretenses. Because that for him is what matters more, and that's what drives him. So you can use this in your story. Give your characters choices, things that they want. This could be choices between two lovers, which one do they want more? It could be choices between opportunities, which one do they want more? It's okay, it doesn't really matter what you do because it's got to suit your story, so I'm not going to say it has to be this or it has to be that. It doesn't matter as long as it works for your story. But one of them is going to send them on a path towards becoming a better person. They'll develop as people, grow and change with your story to become the best version of themselves. And the other one is the bad one, and that is the one that might give them in the moment what they want. Might give them short-term satisfaction, might even give them long-term satisfaction. It might be wealth or fortune or, well, I suppose it's the same thing. But you know what I mean? It could be something incredible, like an incredible opportunity to have the best life they can imagine having. But it comes at a cost. It comes at the cost of who is sacrificed to get it. You get in these, there's stories where they're like, this is a box, and if you hit the button on the box, a person you don't know will die, but you'll get £1 million. And there's loads of that sort of story around. They're really interesting films because they do explore human motivation and energy. But you've got a box, if you hit the button, someone dies, but you get £1 million. And what's the choice? Because you don't want someone to die, but you want £1 million. And your good character, your protagonist character, your morally, I can't think of the word. Your morally good character, even if they're flawed, even if they really, really want to push the button to get the £1 million and just let somebody die, really want it. So they're not perfect. They're not completely pure. They're not easy. No, they're wrestling with it. They choose not to, which shows you that they are on the path to become a good, pure person. But the bad character, the selfish one, the one who's just fuck it, hit the button. I don't care. I want £1 million. Antagonist. And you can have them wrestle with it again. You can have them oh no. And if you put two people side by side with the same choice at the start of your story, and they both wrestle with it for the exact same amount of time, you know in that moment, by the two things they want, which one matters more, what kind of character they are going to be, and what their story arc will be. And I think that's really interesting. And it will make your story really interesting too. So thank you very much for being here for my video about conflicting motivation and what it can do for your story. I hope it's been helpful. If you subscribe to this channel, I'm putting out a video every Monday, Wednesday and Friday. I'm also doing a book reading on a Saturday. You can listen to that. And what else? If you subscribe and if you go to my website, which is jjbarnes.co.uk, over there you'll find links to all my work. My books, my blog, my art, everything I've got going on. There's also my social media, so you can come chat to me, or you can drop a comment on here and tell me Tell me about stories you know and love with conflicting motivation, or what story are you writing where you are using this device to show what matters more when you've got conflicting motivations driving your character, pushing at them both things they want, both things they desperate want, but what matters more and what it does to tell you about that character, because I would love to hear all about it. So thank you very much, and I'll be back again soon. Bye.